Good evening, everyone, and this is ARK, A Rose Nose, Raw Reality, Ruby Red, Uncut. Today I'm going to talk about how you can pay close attention to your intuition. Sorry I don't have a microphone today. I forgot to charge it, so hopefully this video will come out clear enough for you to be able to hear me and understand. Alright, so have you ever experienced the feeling to where you could be enjoying yourself, or you could feel like a certain friendship or relationship or whatever you're dealing with is appearing to be, pretty normal? You don't have any issues with it, but then suddenly things change to where you begin to have this feeling of uneasiness. You're uncomfortable. You have like this tingling sensation, like in the very pit of your stomach, and you are like, all of a sudden you just don't feel so good. Like it almost can be compared to a bit of nausea, except for you're able to control yourself. You don't have to go and throw up or anything. So, but you just have like this sick feeling that appears out of nowhere. I would say it's definitely not a feeling of paranoia. It's not overthinking. It's not even in relation to stress. So what's going on is that you're technically being warned. You are, dealing with a situation, or you're within an environment that feeling is coming over you for a reason. So you're not feeling comfortable because it's time for you to take note that, something pretty bad is going to occur. And so let me ask you this question. How many times have you had that feeling, and was that feeling wrong? Most of the time, it's not wrong, if ever, right? Most of the time, if you have that type of uneasiness going on, you more than likely will find out what that's about really quick, like within the next few seconds, few minutes. If it's an environment situation, if it's a friendship or relationship, it may take a while. It could be weeks, months, maybe even years, unfortunately. But at some point, you are definitely going to know exactly why you are having those feelings. You want to really take notice of that each time that it occurs, because that is definitely your intuitive thinking, and that is what we have all been blessed with. Everybody in this world have been blessed with the gift of intuitive thinking. But a lot of us, if not all of us, are guilty of ignoring it. But when we ignore it, I'm pretty sure we oftentimes regret that, it's ignored, because like I said, you're gonna find out exactly why you were feeling that way. And more than likely, you're gonna hate that you didn't pay attention to it. Okay, so I'm gonna share an experience about a situation that occurred with me long time ago, but I'm gonna do it towards the end of this video. I want to also add that once you experience that tingling sensation in the very pit of your stomach, your heart racing up a storm, you may even experience sweaty palms. Well, whatever you may go through that's showing you that, hey, something isn't right, something is about to pop off, I would say you really need to take note. Like if you at a gathering or a party or someone's home or even someone's car, just take a moment to reflect on that moment. Just take a moment to reflect on what's going on. Just refrain from the conversation and kind of just fall back for a sec to see if you can become in tune of your feelings of being uncomfortable along with the uneasiness, because you never know, that might actually become a lifesaver to you, if you are willing to do that. But I know we as humans, we're like living in a moment. We could be having a good time at a party, at a gathering, at someone's house, and we could be being, we could be in the situation of being sociable, where you're drinking, or you're having a wonderful meal, or you could be even on a dance floor dancing, whatever it is. And so we don't want to stop, because we're in that moment, we're enjoying ourselves. But the thing is, you do have to eventually tune into what's going on, because if you don't, then something is definitely bound to pop off. So it does not matter what class of humans that your intuitive thinking may start to play, okay? It could be a family member, it could even be a next door neighbor, it could be a coworker, it could be, just pretty much anything. I mean, anybody, okay? This is not just for friendships or relationships, or even strangers, okay? This is for just any situation in general. You need to pay close attention to your intuition, because we were blessed with it for a reason. So there are so many so many stories I could share about me not paying attention to my intuition, and definitely regretted it later. But thankfully, it was not ever a life situation. It was more or less the feeling of just, I was able to get through it, and so that's what I'm grateful for. But let me share that experience. Oh my goodness, having issues with which way am I going to angle this. So anyway, all right. So my experience is that me and a friend was at a party long time ago, and oh my God, it's a squirrel. What the heck? Do not leave me alone. Okay, so look, let me show you. So anyway, we were at a party, and okay, this might not have been a good idea. Too much nature bothering me. Go away, squirrel. Okay, so we were at a party, and Power 92 Jams was sponsoring the party, and it was in Conway, Arkansas. Arkansas, where I'm originally from. Conway was the city. And Power 92 was one of the one of the main and most popular Black African American stations out there. So, oh my God, it's hot, especially to be October. But anyway, so what happened is, yeah, we were having a good time. Dancing, partying, getting our drink on, whatever. But then all of a sudden, this uneasy feeling came over me, like it came out of nowhere. It was extremely packed. I'm talking like we were like this, and it was, of course, lots of music and plenty of action, right? But I don't know. It's like I as I continue to engage myself with some of the people there, I just had this feeling like something wasn't right. I didn't know exactly why I was having that feeling. It just came over me. And so we had already been there for a while. Like, I would say probably at least an hour or two, maybe even 3. So I told my friend, I said, hey, it's time for us to go. I said, I don't want to leave, but something is telling me that if we don't, something is about to pop off. Well, she didn't want to leave, of course, and she wanted to stay into the end, to like the very end. I didn't want to leave her. Besides, I couldn't leave her because it was her car and she was driving. I wasn't driving then. So I just continued to, stick around. Anyway, I promise you, 5 minutes, maybe 10 at the most, and everyone just started running. Like they almost knocked me over, and they were just running, trying to get out of the club. And so I stopped one of the females and asked them like what was going on. She was like, "Girl, you better get out of here. They got a gun." Well, right when she said that, of course, I grabbed my friend and I was like, "Hey, come on, let's go." I said, "You hear that?" She said, "Yeah." So we're like chugging it like to the door, and out. And we were so frantic. We were so terrified. We couldn't even find her car. Like, we were just looking everywhere. We couldn't find her car. So we just started trying to get in other people's car. Like at that moment, we didn't care because it really became a life or death situation. So we were fumbling around trying to open up other people's cars, and we did get into someone's car. Luckily, I don't know how that happened, but their car was not locked. So we got in, and we're like huddled, like down in the back seat behind, the front seat. And so we were just huddled, like down in the seat. And oh my God, we were just so scared. We were praying, we were crying, we were begging to be spared. I was definitely praying and asking. I was asking the Almighty God, Jehovah, to please save me. I promised him I would never ever again step foot in another party if he did, because I felt like that was my warning that I did not need to go to any more parties. And this was before I even became a mother. So I'm supposed to be at a party, right? I was young. I was only 19. But anyway, carrying on. When we finally raised up from our huddling position and we opened the door, looked outside, on the ground, shells were all around the car. All around the car. I went to a little bit more details in my memoir about it, but look, pay attention to your intuition. I mean, really and truly pay attention to your intuition. You have no idea what it could be telling you, what it could be warning you. I would say if we hadn't paid some type of attention, like if we had to continue to been at that place, and not even took heed, of the fact that everybody, well, if my friend, let me rephrase that, because I definitely was in tune. She the one wasn't. I don't think I'll be here now, or I would have been shot, and she would have too, and there's no telling what else would have came out of that. So, I did not choose a good spot to do my video today, but if you like this video, like, share, subscribe. Again, ARK, a Rose Knows, Raw Reality. Never ever ignore your intuition. Okay? Alright. See you later.